Hello, hello. Thank you for joining us and clicking on our faces. Today we are discussing episode 8 of Daredevil Born Again. And this was a really good episode, in my opinion. A lot happened. We're going to get into it, but of course, as you see on your screen, I'm not here alone. I'm actually joined by one of my co-hosts, the great grandson of Pooh-Bah. How's it going today?
I'm doing quite well. I'm excited to talk about some Daredevil. Daredevil, I tell a lot of people is top 5 MCU Disney Plus show. So let's
Oh,
talk
okay.
about it. It's in the top 5. I still got in the conversation Falcon and Winter Soldier. I would have to look down on the other ones, but this is easily in the top 5.
Okay. We got Hawkeye, of course. Top slot. WandaVision.
WandaVision.
WandaVision number one. Hawkeye.
Mhm.
Loki's up there.
Loki could be up there. Yeah,
Moon
I
Knight
think
was pretty good.
I think I would put that in 4. I think
And
like Loki 3. I think Moon Knight 4. What else do we got here?
well, I'm saying mine in no particular order, by the way.
Mhm.
WandaVision,
Mhm.
Loki, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, and Daredevil.
Okay. All right. Not bad.
Respectable, right?
You tried.
Okay, so what's on yours? You're in no particular order, top
Oh,
5.
no particular order. Daredevil, Falcon, Winter Soldier, low key. When you said Moon Knight, I was like, I was thinking Moon Knight, but I don't know. I had to look back at that. I feel like I have to watch it back.
Okay.
But those are really like my top 3 at the moment. I would have to. I'm not strong about what my other 2 would be on my list.
Secret
And I know,
Invasions, She-Hulk.
I really didn't hate She-Hulk like everyone else did. But I don't think it's in my top 5. They tried. They tried something different, and that's something I always appreciate about shows when they do something different.
All right. Well, speaking of She-Hulk, since let's go ahead and segue right into a little bit of geek news. Kind of geek news, kind of a bit of a discussion. I saw this on comicbook.com and I thought it would be interesting to get your perspective on it. And we have Matt Murdock's love interest in the show from the Netflix era all the way into Disney Plus. Who is your favorite of Matt Murdock's love interest? We have, of course, Heather at the very top from this season. We have Karen in there. We have Claire. That was from season 1. We have Elektra. And we have She-Hulk. So, out of these ladies here, who is your favorite for Matt Murdock?
Yes. Um, for me, so God, who's my favorite? I'm gonna go with Elektra.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I like Elektra. I think for me it's because Daredevil, Elektra, the love story, the love interest and stuff. Karen Page was new to me when they started doing the Netflix show, so
Mm-hmm.
because I was gonna go with Karen because I like Karen. I know you sit here and say she's the demon of the show and
Yeah, he's
blah
the
blah
true
blah.
villain.
I get all that. But there's something about Karen that I like, and I think just a little bit of that I saw of her in this season where made me go like I kind of like her, and that maybe is something I'm missing. But I'm gonna go with Elektra. Sorry,
Oh,
long-winded, but Elektra.
okay. All right. So for me, instinctually, I was going towards Elektra because I feel like they're the most iconic. I feel like the most well known of the couples. Not of course there's Karen, but I'm talking about overall Daredevil lore. It's like Daredevil and Elektra. Um, but uh, I hate to say this, but it's between who's the best for Matt Murdock. It unfortunately may be Karen. She knows his secrets. She's works with him. Like they seem to have a chemistry. Even though I did really enjoy the Claire and it was that season 1. I like the fact that she's a nurse and he's out here, fighting crime and they can help each other out that way. But apparently she smashed Luke Cage, and I'm like, you can't be smashing the homies, and I don't know about all of that. But yeah, so I'm going with Claire. Think we have a little bit of technical difficulties. If you're here in the chat, let me know who you feel is Matt Murdock's ultimate favorite love interest, and who is your favorite love interest for Matt Murdock in the show, because he's a cat. He's out here all the time with the ladies. But let's hop into our next bit of geek news this evening. Something that Grand Slam Booba provided. We have a little clip here, a little tweet from Marvel vs. Geek on Twitter, or X, excuse me. Season 1 finale of Daredevil Born Again will include an extraordinarily shocking moment that is very, very, very violent, says director Justin Benson. Now, let's speculate here. Let's speculate as to what we believe this violent moment could possibly be. We got shout out to the Truth 31. I also got to go with Karen as well. Okay, I can see the logic. I can't even hate. I don't like Karen.
Did you say Karen? I'm sorry because my internet went out. Who did you pick?
I picked Karen, unfortunately, because she does have, she knows him on all aspects. She knows Matt Murdock. She knows Daredevil. Yada yada yada. But I feel like Elektra is the most iconic. But I also, a little part of me also likes Claire, except for she smashed the homie in the Defenders. But anyway. We're talking about trying to speculate as to what this potentially very, 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 according to the director, violent scene could potentially be in the final episode of this season. Do you have any thoughts? What do you think it could be?
It's hard to really come up with something because episode 1, Frog gets shot and died.
Okay.
Episode 6, Matt jumps in the air and drop kicks someone in the knee, and I thought that was gruesome. So I was like, man, what can they possibly do violent? And I think I don't know what can happen violently, but I just feel like it's definitely gonna come out of the hands of the Punisher, because you have the Punisher and he's someone who just you just can't be here anymore if you did something bad. So I gotta go. I can't tell you what it would be, but I believe the Punisher is gonna be the reason of it.
Because I've heard that Frank Castle will return this season. So I given what happened at the end of this episode, I can see a lot of violence coming from his end. But if I had to speculate, what could potentially be this very graphic, violent scene, I'm going to have to say it's going to be a death, and I have my opinions on who I believe it may be. And it's either going to be Heather. I've been saying it from the get. Heather got to go. I don't know. I feel like, but now at the end of this season, I'm not sure if that would actually be feasible. I still think there's still more to tell.
I honestly think you're onto something about that. I don't know if it's this season, Heather, but I do think Heather doesn't make it. Like,
the only thing is, I'm thinking she might hang on longer than we expected.
Yeah.
That's her whole thing of Daredevil. Being, these vigilantes. Daredevil's just like Muse and just like all the other criminals because he's a vigilante. So I feel like they probably explore that more.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to say you're saying it wrong. You gotta say vigilante. You gotta have this.
But here's where I think the graphicness may come in. I feel as if they could take out Vanessa. Vanessa might be the one. Vanessa,
okay.
And that's what's really going to drive Fisk over the edge back into his super viciousness, and for potential season 2 storyline. I feel like it might be Vanessa. I think she's going to go, and it could be. I don't know how Frank. I don't know if Frank will take her out, but I feel like it could be the death of Vanessa is the violent part. That's what I think. But hello, thanks for being here, Charmaine. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and we're going into the episode. Again, we're talking about episode 8 of Daredevil Born Again, and we are getting into full spoilers at this point. So if you haven't yet seen the episode, leave us a like and come back after you do, okay? Because we're discussing the full episode. So this episode kind of opened up with like a blue flower, and the blue coloring was a theme. It seemed like this episode.
I love that.
Moments, but like I don't understand the blue, because
the blue.
Red.
Oh, I'm so sorry. The blue was supposed to represent Bullseye, like the red represent Matt, and the white represents Fisk. So that was his color representation.
Oh, okay. Oh, smart guy. All right, nice to know. You're a guy in the chair this episode. But after like weird blue, very beautifully shot too, blue flower scene, we're over with Vanessa and Fisk, and that's when we get a bit of dialogue clarifying that when Vanessa set Lucas out for Fisk, it was all a plot. They were working Fisk and Vanessa in order to get rid of Lucas. Now, was this a shock to you? Because I was kind of speculating that could be the case.
I love how they kind of left that off last week, where it made you wonder if she was trying to set up her husband or Luca. And I think I said it on the last show, is like, I can see how you go on both ends, right? But it just seemed like it was for Luca, because he was messing with their not property, their business. So like every time he did, she even said he was a reckless kid. And yeah, I can see her, and so no, I'm sorry, just to answer your question, no, but it's just, no, I'm sorry.
Only thing about this reveal, and it was done like very casually, just in a conversation, right? I wish they would have let it linger. I wish there was a little bit more. Oh, did she? Didn't she? But I think it's because we get less episodes, of course, in this season, but also because they freaking wasted an episode with the damn heist one. They could have got rid of that useless one, even though it was a cute episode, but we could have used that time to build on the plot here and, give some more suspense to certain plot points that we've been building in the season thus far. So everything doesn't feel so rushed.
And I think that's where more episodes might have been better. I wouldn't have removed that episode. I would have just gave some more episodes. I get what you're saying. Like, this could have been something fun to linger on a little bit more and make you wonder what her alliance was, rather than just jump right into it. It was like almost like no suspense to it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I would definitely love more episodes, but if we had to make a choice, if we had to cut one, it's definitely the heist. But after this scene, we're over with Matt and Heather. There's tension in paradise. There's some issues unraveling. She is still kind of shook from the previous episode where she was attacked by Muse. And she has grouped all vigilantes into criminals, including, Daredevil. And of course, Matt is Daredevil. So he's just like, yo, I don't think...
Yeah, I think that guy was trying to help you out. Matt, you wasn't there. I know I wasn't there, but even still, it's fun.
Interesting. Oh, but go ahead.
No, it was actually funny because I was talking to Shay about this. And at first I was like, well, because she said Heather needs to go. And I was like, well, why does Heather need to go? She's pretty. And then she said, well, she was talking reckless here about, Daredevil, like he didn't save her. And I was like, that's actually a good point. And I was actually really disappointed in Heather about that, where she's like, because it's clear as day that Daredevil saved you, and the reason you was able to get them shots in was because of Daredevil. So yeah, I wasn't liking Heather sitting there saying, "Oh, vigilantes are terrible."
Do you think she's trying to goad him into admitting that he's Daredevil?
That's a good question. Like she knows, right?
Yeah.
I don't think she knows. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
All right.
But I can see why that would be asked, almost like just to get a confession from, because I feel like when you're a therapist, you have like another mind. So I could see where she's just like, she's using like that third brain, if you will, to make it be like, I know, Matt, who you are. Almost like Amber in Invincible. And she plugged, we did an Invincible plug. We did an Invincible review.
Yes, we did. But after their little tiff, Bushman comes to the door, and that's this scene here, inviting Heather to the ball. This Red Hook fundraising, extravagant ball. And of course, Matt don't want to go. He don't want her to go, but she's in her feelings. She's like, "Look, I got a +1. You're showing up as my man. You have no choice, basically." And he was a little aggravated. And honestly, this is some really good acting from Charlie Cox. I was like, dang, I can feel the tension here in the relationship. It was almost uncomfortable to watch. I was like, I feel like I shouldn't even be here listening to this fight. Like
I should leave, right?
Exactly.
I feel like, and I love what you said about Charlie Cox, about his acting. I feel like there was the next scene I know we're going to get into when he's in his law firm, and I really loved it's not the aggression, but the intensity that he brings into the scenes. I thought he did a great job on that. I even like the part where she, like how you mentioned, guests can come, and he's like, and he's really good with his facials, the way he goes like, like sometimes just, he don't even say anything, he just does the facial like, I don't like it, like I think someone on Twitter said, oh, Matt's moody again.
Yeah, definitely moody. He's a little aggravated, a little aggressive. A
He
little
is a little
passive
aggressive.
aggressive.
A little bit. You think passive? I feel like he's just aggressive. Really? You think passive?
Like I feel like he was being a little passive aggressive with the, yeah, I'll come to the party and like
Okay.
as
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
so is she, so is she. So.
I feel like the scene was actually kind of frustrating because I know Matt can just outright say he's Daredevil, but I'm like, man, things would just be a lot easier. But
Yeah,
I get you just can't do that.
and
So
just tell
like,
everybody.
yeah. You can't. No, and as he shouldn't. It's just that like Heather seemed like such a good such a good girl for him. And something Cherry mentions up later is like almost like you're messing up your life and blowing up your life, and it just seemed like this because I'm like, yo, you got a really good girl here, man. Because I love me some Heather. So
Yeah, but getting into the firm, he's there with Kirsten, and
yes,
she
love
of
her.
course tells him that Bullseye has been released from solitude and is in general pop. And I don't know if this was a great move on her end, because why even bring this up? Like, what was the point of even mentioning? This is a sore spot for Matt. This is the man who offed his best friend.
Mm-hmm.
What's the point of bringing it? Especially given that you guys are like on a case and you need his full attention to this case.
Right.
Where has the cases been? Honestly, after the Hector case, they haven't really been working like that. And shout out to Jeff from the Garden of Thought, because he mentioned how is Matt Murdock affording this New York penthouse when he's basically working pro bono for most of his cases, and and he's not even like sleeping or going into the courtroom or anything. He's always just fighting crime and doing whatever. And I say, oh, good point.
I don't know what part of New York he's in. I think it's Hell's Kitchen. Oh no, he's out of Hell's Kitchen. I don't know what part of New York it is, but I want to go there because it's hard to live out here. So that's a damn good question.
I speculated that his sugar mama, Heather, is paying the bills. She's the world-renowned therapist, psychologist.
I honestly thought it was Rosie from the bar helping him pay the bills, but whatever.
Oh.
So that was the real sugar daddy right there.
Yes.
Oh well, sure. Look at what Chris says in the chat. He says he got that disability discount.
Hey, oh yeah, he do. Well, good for him. A little housing discount. But thanks for being here, Christopher. Thanks for joining us in the chat.
Thank you so much.
But also, we also get Fisk bringing Vanessa to the indulgence dungeon.
I'm sorry, that guy looked like Keanu Reeves. I was gonna say, when did Keanu Reeves get in the show?
Oh, you know what? I kind of see it. I'm not gonna lie. But he brings Vanessa. He shows her her lover, right? And he kept his word. According to him, he said, "I didn't, I didn't kill him."
Okay, when did he become Batman?
He's always had his voice.
I know, right?
But of course, because now Fisk is the mayor, they have all of these things wrapped up in their image. They can't just let this man go. And even though he pleaded for his life, and Fisk gave her the opportunity to free this man, left the key, say, hey, you do what you do what you do. She decides in all of her villainness to shoot this man dead, her former lover, in cold blood. And I'm like, this was wild. I honestly wish that we would have got a few flashbacks between the two so it can be a little bit more emotionally impactful.
Okay.
Yeah, so it kind of to make it feel as if an actual decision, like there was weight to the decision, because we haven't really seen them interact. So automatically I'm thinking, okay, yeah, she's definitely just want to get rid of him, right? But if we were to see them interact at some point in the show and kind of understand why she fell for this man, beyond the bit of dialogue they gave in therapy, I feel like this part would have been more impactful. However, it was still a very good scene because our couple is reunited. They're on the same.
I know you. I'm hearing you. You're making it sound like a Disney performance here. What are you even talking about?
Because I'm rooting for love. Okay, the spark was dying out in the marriage. They were on the end of the line almost, and they were able to bring back the love.
Well, all it took was a killing to bring them back together. You know what they said? They said the couple that kills together stay together.
Exactly.
You said this guy got killed in cold blood. I don't know. That cell looked pretty damn warm. I disagree with that. I think it was very warm in there. I have no follow up with that. I just wanted to get my joke out, but yeah, it was Adam. Adam had to go. I'm sorry, Adam had to go. I didn't care about Adam really too much. He got his ass whooped by Fisk. That's fine. Yeah, we don't need him. Goodbye, Adam.
Well, he's gone now. Won't be returning. But shout out to the chat. Christopher says, next, I just finished the episode before your stream. All right. We can talk full spoilers now that everyone's all caught up. American Dream Real Estate. That was crazy how she killed him. I wasn't surprised because Vanessa is a gangster. Okay, she's built for the life. I don't know who she was with before Fisk, but that person clearly prepared her for the life of the underground.
I honestly, I don't know. I feel like, because you say that, I feel like Fisk is the one who taught her all this stuff. I don't think she was always like this.
I feel like she always had a little bit of something. That's why when she was
a small batch.
Just like with,
really taught her.
Oh, just like with what's her name's mama? Kate Bishop's mama.
Kate Bishop.
She got a little bit of something. They both from the same part of town.
I love how you read the same part of town. Okay.
But flash over to Fisk and his crew here. We got Daniel, we got Bushman, and in this scene, Fisk did something so random. He decided to make Daniel, of all people, the deputy mayor of communications, like the one who spilled the beans to the reporter. It's like, well, how did he get the communications, title?
I think he's just. I think because of his decision making here was definitely terrible. I agree. I think after that murder of Adam, now he's on cloud 9. He's just like, yo, I have power. Like, I think there's a bit of. I think because not the falling out, but like him and Vanessa were not on the same page. He lost a bit of his confidence, and I feel like in this part, you see, like Fish is just throwing his weight around, like, and literally too. He's literally just like, Daniel, you're going to be community. What is it? I'm sorry. What's his position?
Deputy Mayor of Communications. Yeah,
and even the
made up title. I don't even know if that's a real thing. I don't know.
I was just going to ask you, is that real? Because even
we got 42 of you guys in here watching so far. Let's know in the chat if you heard of a Deputy Mayor of Communications before. Let us know.
I don't know why. I just kind of want to see him with a little cowboy hat and a sheriff badge now.
Oh yeah,
deputy. Stick Deputy Daniel. Right? Deputy Daniel. But I love, like, he's making this decision, talking about Fisk. And you see the woman, I'm sorry, I can't think of her name, but
Olivia Pope.
Okay, all right, Olivia Pope. Yeah, look at she's distressed right about now. She's like, yo, what?
Honestly, everyone is looking surprised in this shot, like who? What?
Buck looked very Buck is like, wait, what?
Right, him, this guy. But following that decision, we're over in the bar, right? We're toasting to Foggy, and and if you got your drink, go ahead and drink it, and leave it a like while you're drinking.
But for the Fox trip.
Yeah, and again, we're at this bar. What's the name of this bar? Help me. What was the name of this?
Rosie's. I think it's
Rosie's. Okay, there we go. Mm-hmm. She pulls out this celebratory bottle for them to, like I said, celebrate Foggy. Mm-hmm. And she said this was the last bottle Foggy drunk the night of. And if we can recall from a few episodes prior, Matt Murdock specifically said, whenever they would win a case, they would celebrate with this particular brand of alcohol. And which is why Matt was so, adamant about, he didn't drink that. He didn't drink that night because that was their special celebratory drink, right?
Right.
And that's when he was able to put together, he was celebrating early because he was going to solve the case. So he was off because of, solving the case.
He was going to run his mouth.
Yeah, it wasn't an accident. It wasn't just a thing. Something happened here. That's what led him to go to Bullseye in the prison, right? To question him with his fists. Right. The way he asked him, who sent you to kill Foggy? And Bullseye was like, look, you gonna get me out of general prop or what? Because that's a question I can answer once I'm, where I want to be. He's trying to negotiate a little bit, and good for him. But Matt was not with the BS this episode. He was very aggressive, like we saw from earlier. It's like, why is he so on
On
edge?
edge. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, he got nothing from him, and he ended up beating Bullseye's head against the table. It was a mess. Flash over
Loved it.
flash over to the ball. Of course, we have Heather there, Fisk, Vanessa, and of course Daniel and BB, right? And I still think this relationship between Daniel and BB is so odd because are you best friends? Or does he have a crush on you? Is he threatening you?
I've always got that off that he has a crush on her.
Yeah.
But she's on business. But
Yeah. I got that same impression. But at what point are you like, why does she keep, milking this relationship? Is it, I don't know.
He's not thinking straight. He's not thinking. He's young, he's drinking, and he's not thinking. He's looking at that pretty young lady, and he's not thinking straight. Even when he tried to use his power, he said, I don't think it was this episode, or I don't know if it was this episode or last episode.
That was the previous episode, yeah.
And he forced her to do that thing, and then now she's like, yeah, but look at this party, this is so great, right? And
yeah,
I don't know. I think in his mind he's impressing her with him moving up, and he's showing her this party, and like, who would have thought we would have been here and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what I get out of it.
But it was in this scene, and this is something that we find out this episode is something that you called previously, that when she was BB was speaking to the commissioner later in the episode, and the commissioner said, Wilson Fisk was the main suspect to your uncle's death. And she said she knew. So she knew this whole time. So shout out to the great grandson Poobah for calling that. But yeah, she has always known. And apparently she has been writing articles under BB, but she also has like an alias that she's writes.
Smart.
Wow.
Smart.
Very smart. Very smart. Over into further
I'm glad we're talking about him.
Yeah. And I'm trying to figure out why this lady returned. She was in a previous episode where she was kind of putting Fisk in his place about being, new money and lower scale.
Yeah.
So I was wondering about her return here. I didn't understand why they brought her back. I'm not sure.
I think okay, let me see if I can try to make this make sense. Because a lot of them came back from that episode where they all put him down. Like, same thing with Jack, right? I think they brought her back. So it was like his Fisk way. So I'm assuming Fisk invited her just to be like, in your face, look at this, and look at all this wealth that you didn't think I had, or whatever it was that she dismissed him about.
Okay. Well, Fisk approaches our guy, swordsman, Waluigi. And he says, look, basically, I know you're the swordsman, right? And are you going to sign off on giving me some money or not? And Jack did kind of stand up for himself, but it seemed as if by the end of the scene, he agreed to sort of fund this, bring over the funds, right? So I wonder what happened with that. I wonder if we're going to see more of Jack's character.
I hope so. I really do hope so. I mean, the little scene that he had in Hawkeye, I thought it was cool seeing him with the sword. And there's something where I'm just intrigued about swordsman, because that's not a character that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about, and I would just like for them to flush that out a little bit more. And I just want to say real quick, the actor, I think I saw one picture without the mustache, and he should never do that again.
Oh, he looks completely different, huh?
Certain people should just have facial hair.
Hey, well, if he comes back, I'm sure he'll have the stash.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you listen to the audio description, they say, "Oh, the mustachioed man."
Oh, they said that? Okay.
Yeah, with the mustache. The mustache.
I honestly have to ask you how you do that, because sometimes I watch it and I'd be like, how does she do that? And I never know how to get that off. So I'm gonna ask you off here how you be doing that stuff. But mustachio man, that's hilarious. Mustachio man. Because if I was actually blind, I would say, what the hell is Mario doing here?
What's the mustachio man? What a distinguished gentleman. That's what it sounds like.
Oh, no, never mind. I would have thought it was Wario.
The mustache is blue collar. You say somebody's got a mustache, blue collar man. But if he's a mustachioed man, that's a man with means. But
Love it.
we're
Love
into
it.
the next scene. We have the breakout of Bullseye. He uses a loose tooth to
But I
take.
blame Matt for that. I
Yeah.
blame Matt for
Oh,
that.
yeah. From slamming him against
Oh
the
my God.
table. That's what did it.
And I just want to say in this scene real quick here. Matter of fact, really cool. This is, I don't want to say based off a comic, but there's a scene in the comic where he's having like a missing tooth. So I guess he did that. But the part where he crunches the tooth, I said, ew. And
This is
right,
nasty. This is nasty.
right, and then he has it in the middle, and then just shoot it. I'm like, damn, he don't even need his hands. All he just need is a weapon, just to shoot the tooth, and it's a direct hit, and then his hands are free, and just this scene right here. And I think later on too, I forget if it's this scene or just a little bit after, the scene does the same thing that you mentioned earlier, which kind of a theme in this episode was it went blue on him.
Yeah.
And I just think that I know I said earlier, but just the visual of that is actually just pretty cool. It's different, so it kind of caught my attention.
Let's head to the comments here. We got American Dream Real Estate. The head slam was crazy. Facts. She's playing the long game. I'm assuming you're talking about BB. That's why she's hanging around Daniel's tail.
Yeah.
But back to Bullseye. This scene, now that I think about it, is the show not sticking to its own lore? Because how the heck is a face slam from Matt Murdock, again, not a super strength, superhero. He doesn't have like he's not like super soldier serum kind of strength. Not out here like the Hulk, right?
You gotta, so this is my theory about that, because I get what you're saying. You said, okay, he slammed his head. How is this tooth?
But keeping in mind, in the first episode of this season, Bullseye falls from the top of a building and perfectly fine, face immaculate. So how is it that this shove and face slam from Deadpool, not Deadpool, Daredevil,
Daredevil,
makes his teeth come out?
So I hear that part, and I think those are fair points. I'm gonna go with this as the theory. Earlier in the episode, there's a spot where the officers take him from I guess solidarity to being in the public, and maybe those guys beat the hell out of him so badly that tooth was already hanging on by a ledge, or just hanging on. That's why I'm gonna go with, because if we try to figure this out, I think we're all gonna have our brains is just gonna explode.
I feel like in this iteration era of Daredevil, the Disney Plus Daredevil, he is more super powered than he was in Netflix. I feel like they enhanced his abilities by quite a bit. Yeah, in Disney Plus. But shout out to shout out to the comments. The True 31, did Matt slam Bullseye's head on purpose, knowing he would escape to kill Fisk?
No,
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think he. I don't think he knew it. He did it knowing that he would escape. I think he just did it out of anger. He's like losing control this episode. Right. So, but maybe we'll find out by next episode. But
I feel like once we go even further in this episode, we're going to be able to tell like he did not know that. But sure.
That's true. But Christopher says his strength is average. Right. Yes. So how the heck? And where is Lauren Fisk and Luke Cage?
He means to say Iron Fist and Luke Cage. I do think we do get them eventually. They've already said in season 2 that we were supposed to be getting the Defenders. So I mean, they pretty much already revealed all that. I kind of wish they have kept some of that stuff under the wraps. But they're possibly not possibly. They're already saying they're coming back for season 2.
But shout out to the viewers. We got 56 of you guys here watching with us this evening. Drop us a comment in the chat. Let us know what you think of the episode as we get further in. We're wrapping up soon, so drop your comments now. Back to the ball, right? We have Matt finally showing up. Johnny come lately. He did eventually make it there. He has a little dance with Heather. And while he's dancing with her, he's putting 2 and 2 together. Hold on, the real what's going on? Selfie time?
No, my cat is asleep.
Taking a picture. But he's figuring out. Oh yeah, Vanessa is the one who propositioned Bullseye to kill Foggy. He put it together right there on the dance floor. That's when he comes up, breaks up the dance. Starts to dance with Vanessa himself.
But look at Fisk's face. He was so over it. Like that. in my that's in my meme folder right now because Fisk looks so disgusted.
Just don't like it when you mess with his woman. Don't mess with Vanessa, okay? You can do it whatever you want, but you going down if you mess with Vanessa.
Oh, he loves Vanessa. As a
Yes,
man,
for
I love
sure.
this woman.
But of course, after Bullseye breaks out of the prison, the first place he goes is to the ball, and he has his sights set on someone in the crowd. We don't know who, but by the time the bullet is released, we have some really cool, interesting like camera work that happened in
Yeah,
this.
yeah. It's like that. I know what you mean. So like they blur and then they zoom out or something like that.
Yeah, it was very interesting. They
Well,
didn't do that
well
anywhere
done.
else so far in the season.
Yeah.
We also did some really interesting audio things this episode. There was a scene where Matt was on the dance floor and you're hearing the music and it becomes distorted at one point.
Yes.
And yeah, just a lot of artistic choices were made this episode that seemed different than the other season, but I enjoyed it. I liked what they did.
I thought it was different. I think it was also a play on Matt's ability. You know, like he depends on hearing, and this is what he's hearing. And I don't know what the distort part was supposed to be, what it was supposed to mean. But because there was also a good spot I liked here is when Fisk is dancing with Vanessa. And he says, "What are you looking for, devil? Yeah, I told you that being a vigilante would have consequences." And I kind and only Matt can hear that. No one else is hearing that but Matt. So I thought that was really cool because I like when they not enhance his ability, but they focus on it.
Yeah. So Bullseye lets the bullet fly through the crowd, and it turns out he was aiming for Fisk, but Matt jumped in front of the bullet for whatever odd reason, and I'm still trying to figure out why the hell he did that. Like, bruh.
But you know, it's a play on with something. I'm gonna butcher this, but something earlier in this episode. I'm sorry, not Iron Fist. What's this guy's name? Bullseye. He says, Bullseye. He says when he was asking for Matt's help and said, you know, because good guys help people, even if it's your enemy or something like that. And I'm butchering that completely. And that's something right here, what he did here, because he doesn't like Fisk. He's not saving Fisk because this is his best friend and they're going to be having drinks after this. But he's doing it because it's like, oh, he wasn't trying to have him get killed. And someone pointed this out, and I thought this was interesting because I didn't notice this. They've said when Matt got shot, it was the same spot where Foggy got shot. I just thought that was interesting. I don't know, take it for what it is, but I just thought that was interesting. That was a good eye on whoever pointed that out.
So my thing is, though, if that's the case, if he's doing this because of what something Bullseye said, why would he give an F about anything Bullseye says? Like, why would he take that to heart so much that he's jumping in front of bullets for fucking Wilson Fisk? Like,
but you know, I feel like the whole thing with Matt Murdock's character has always been that struggle between good and evil. Like we see in this episode, he's been crashing out completely, but then there's other things where he's been trying to do the right thing. Like earlier in this episode, and I think you were saying it yourself, you were saying, okay, if I could go back a little bit to that scene when he was with Kristen, and he's crashing out on one of his clients, and she's trying to say, what's going on? And he's like, man, like, we tried to depend on the law system, and then like, Poindexter's out, White Tiger's dead, all these things. I just think there's always been this crazy balance for Matt where he's trying to, like, you know how some characters, they're just like there's not that internal struggle. Matt goes through that. And I think that's why it seems kind of like, well, why would he take that bullet? Because it's like it's the right thing.
I guess. But
I get it. Listen, if it was Red Hood, he would let it happen. We get it, see.
But another question I have is, why would Fisk move Bullseye into General Pop? Like, what was the point?
Well, I don't think he had anything to do with this. He has no idea. Vanessa is the one who has made all these. Wait, matter of fact, hold up, time out. Because Buck pointed out that he was free.
Yeah.
But I don't think he knew. I don't know. I don't think he knew anything about Poindexter. Because even when Vanessa was going to say, I have something to tell you, he says, not now. I think there's a lot of things he didn't know. I think that he was doing certain things to do it, but there was like this certain truth that was missing.
Let us know in the chat if you think Wilson Fisk is the one who released Bullseye into General Pop. And if so, why? Or would it have been Vanessa? Like, I'm that's the part I'm confused on. I hope they.
So a part of me would think. So I can see why you would say Fisk, because Fisk has the
Well, they
NYPD.
said Fisk. They said it was Fisk in the episode that he's the one. That's what Kirsten said to Matt. So
Okay. So you might be, because American Dream is saying Kristen told Matt that it was Fisk.
Yeah. See,
But,
exactly.
From what kind? But part of me just think, I don't know. Like, I'm hearing Fisk, but I feel like that's just like something just don't smell right. It doesn't pass the sniff test for me. I think it's Vanessa though. I think that we're saying Fisk because we all know Fisk does a lot of nasty things, but I think Vanessa is the one pulling all the strings.
Okay. Well, if you like the episode, please like the video. If you like the video, please like the video, and join us next week for what I believe to be is the season finale of Daredevil Born Again. Huh?
I think we got 2 more episodes.
We got 2 more? Are you sure?
I saw something that said like 2 episodes, but maybe it's 1. But either way, you should join us next week for episode 9 because it's a good time.
All right, please do. Same time, same place, same time-ish, same place. And we will talk to you later. Goodbye. Thanks for being here.